Welcome back, and our research team is ready with how the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and of course the setup on the FNO side as well. First up, Vinny is joining in to get all the market cues we need to watch out for. Vinny, good morning. A potential gap down start, but what are the other cues you're watching out for today?
Absolutely, a gap down start is what we were watching out for, but yesterday wasn't anything exciting as well. It started in the green and then went up to the red side, though recovered from the day's lowest point is what we saw coming in for the Nifty. Almost 100 points recovery at the end of the day from the day's low. 9th straight day of red coming in for the day straight. Mid cap that recovered very well, 1,000-point recovery, ended in the green as well. So that was some bit of a green that we saw coming in from the Nifty mid-cap side. But small cap saw recovery, but that ended on the red side, and small cap saw a decline of around 0.3% approximately in yesterday's trading session. Now FIIs, they continue to sell. 4,788 crores is what FIIs have sold, while DIIs have bought around 8,791 crore. The intensity of selling versus the previous sessions for FIIs, slight bit of that subduedness we saw, but continued selling is what we've seen coming in for the FII. So that is something that we're watching out for, because if that continues to sell, we're seeing that pressure coming in on the markets. Now, factors to watch out for: the US Feb manufacturing data that came in, the data overnight that we saw coming in, that was not anything exciting, subdued data that came in, and that is something that is impacting the markets. A bit of a subduedness in the US market is also what we're seeing in terms of the data points. Now, tariffs that were announced by Donald Trump on Canada, Mexico, China, that take effect today. So that uncertainty, weak sentiment continues, and overnight also what we got in terms of an update that US has halted the military aid that is given on Ukraine, and that is what is something that could see an impact, and that is why overall that weak sentiment continues in the market. We're expecting a gap down start is what the Nifty implied is indicating for the Indian markets.
160 points lower is what the implied open is suggesting. Vinny, thanks a lot for that. Over to Vamakshi now, who list out the stocks you need to watch out for today. Vamakshi, good morning. What's on your list?
Good morning, Hormaz. Let me first start off with IEX. The stock will be in focus on the back of a monthly update. In the month of Feb, electricity traded volume saw an uptick of almost 9% on a year-on-year basis. The day-ahead market, that is the DAM, volume was up nearly 14% year-on-year. Real-time electricity market was also quite strong, with the volume seeing an uptick of almost 23% year-on-year. But it is the market clearing price in the day-ahead market that saw a downtick of almost 11% year-on-year. RBL Bank is another counter that we will be watching out for, and that is because GST authorities have initiated search at 3 offices of the bank in Maharashtra. The bank says that the proceedings are ongoing and they are cooperating in providing data as per the request placed. Ask Automotive will also be in focus. They've signed a technical assistant and license agreement with Kyushu Yanagawa Seki Corporation. This is for cast wheel production. InGrid Investment is another counter we'll be watching out for. Its arm has received a letter of intent for a project worth 195 crores from REC Power. And lastly, keep an eye out on Godrej Properties, because they've gone ahead and cancelled the 2000 agreement that they had signed with TCM Limited for a land parcel in Kochi. However, the company maintains that they see no material impact on the company's financials, operations, as well as other business activities.
Actually, thanks a lot for that. And finally, Mangalam joins in with cues from the FNO space. Mangalam, good morning. A potential start below 22,000, but what's the FNO data indicating?
That's exactly right. If you look at the markets yesterday, there was a pullback from the lows in the second half of trade yesterday, specifically for the Nifty, and it was led by the Nifty IT index. Remember, the IT index was an underperformer in the previous trading session, did well in yesterday's trading session. It was the Nifty Bank which was slightly under pressure. The low yesterday, 22,004.7. That is something that we'll keep an eye out on, as the GIFT Nifty is indicating that the start could be below that low as well. And were we to break that, it would be breaking 22,000 for the first time since June 2024 itself. The broader markets, they recovered a little better in yesterday's trading session. The Nifty Next 50 and the mid-cap index actually ended mildly in the green. And that was largely because of strong domestic flows. That came in a little over $1 billion, 8,700 crores. And this compares with FII selling of close to 4,800 crores. And if you look at the net institutional flows at 4,000 crores, that's the highest that we've seen in at least a month, X of all block deals, etc. The FIIs also bought in index futures, close to around 150 crores. They had a little more longs than shorts, and their long exposure now stands at 16%, with shorts at 84% itself. Long, they bought more calls than puts, and at the same time they also sold more puts than they bought puts. So that's telling you that they were hoping for some sort of support that came by. So today's low will be extremely crucial. We open with a gap down. Do we see a bit of a recovery from there or not? Because there are a lot of writers at the 22,000 put and the 22,100 put. On the way up, however, we will see some resistance around yesterday's high of 22,250 thereabouts, but that seems a far way given the given the sort of gift nifty start that we're seeing. A couple of stocks I'll be watching out for. We have Angel One and BSE, both of them under severe pressure. Do we see some turnaround out there, or maybe with the weakness in the market, weakness continues in these capital market names too?
Indeed, we'll keep an eye out on all of this. Mangalam, thanks a lot for that.